Good afternoon. I am Dr. Sharad Kumar JV, consultant cardiologist from Siddhaganga Hospital, Tumkur. So basically, COVID-19, if we split this is coronavirus disease 2019. So why 2019? This virus was isolated in China in December 31st, 2019. That's why this strain has been called as COVID-19. So these coronaviruses, uh, there are many coronaviruses. One of the thing is SARS-CoV-2, which is causing this COVID-19. We have many other coronaviruses which previously were there. They were causing diseases like MERS, which is Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. The other one is SARS, that is severe acute respiratory syndrome. These two were previously there. They were sometimes particular affected the particular geographical area. But this COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2, which has become a global pandemic affecting most of the countries on this earth, causing catastrophic consequences. So, how does this virus comes to humans? What are the disease like? How it presents? We'll see. So basically, the mode of transmission of this virus is through respiratory system. So any person who has been infected with coronavirus, who is having the disease of COVID-19, if he sneezes, if he coughs, there will be droplets coming out of his mouth and they will be spreading in the environment. So any susceptible person who comes in contact with this kind of a person who is infected already, if he inhales those droplets, suppose the droplets they were there on the table, in the doors, on the beds, wherever they are there. If he touches those things and if he puts his hands into the eyes, mouth, or nose, they become infected with this coronavirus. So there is something called incubation period for this virus. So from the time of the virus getting into the body and to development of the symptom, this is called the incubation period. It is usually around 4 to 14 days with us in this case. So more than 90% of the patients will develop the symptoms by 11th day. Most of them will develop the symptoms by 11th day. So what is this? Is it like suppose a person gets infected with coronavirus, is it going to be the end of his life? No, no need to get panicked because 80% of the patients in the natural history, they will get had cured by themselves with a mild symptoms. They will not have any significant symptoms. They will have mild symptoms, and remaining 15% will have significant symptoms which require hospitalization, some into the ICUs, and the remaining 5% of the patients, those are the patients who are going to have major problems because they will be having severe respiratory problems and multi-organ dysfunction. So they will require ICUs and then ventilatory support and supportive treatment. There is the problem because these are the patients who are going to die with this disease. So what are the symptoms? So what are the symptoms these patients will be having? Once the coronavirus infects a person, what are the symptoms of this infection? So it is just like any other flu or common cold. But most importantly, these patients will have fever which is moderate to high grade. It is present in more than 80% of the patients who have been infected. So the next common thing is cough. Cough, it is usually dry cough. Around 60 to 70% patients will have dry cough, another 20 to 30% may. Next most important symptom is generalized weakness, what we call it as fatigue, generalized body ache, because they feel that they can't do any routine work, they can't move around. So they will have this kind of uneasiness. Total overall the body is like they will have generalized weakness and they cannot do their routine work. So other important symptoms like some of the around 5 to 10% of the patient will have gastrointestinal symptoms like nausea, vomiting, or loose stools. Symptom, most importantly, shortness of breath, difficulty in breathing. These symptoms develops in around 20% of the patient, but this is the major symptom. Suppose a person develops this shortness of breath, you should assume that this person has a severe disease. Associated with shortness of breath, some people have blood tinged sputum. If they cough, the sputum will be having blood tinge, blood mixed with that sputum. That is called hemoptysis. So these are the major symptoms with these patients will come with. So many other patients may have headache, other non-specific symptoms. Sometimes they will be asymptomatic because they won't have any symptoms at all, but they will be infecting others. So what is the mortality of these patients? So are everybody patient, any patients getting this disease is going to die, or it's what? So mortality, it is very varying across the globe. Some nations have very high mortality, some nations have low mortality. Suppose if you take China, like the earlier country like where it was started, the mortality is around 2 to 3%. Suppose if you take Italy and Spain, the mortality is more than around 10%. So US it is around 1 to 2%. Germany it is around less than 1%. So the overall mortality varies accordingly. The most important factor which affects this mortality is age. So elderly the patient, the mortality is going to be very higher. Suppose a person more than 80 years of age is getting infected with COVID, his mortality rate is going up to 20%. Suppose a person is 70 plus, it's around 15%. Suppose the patient is more than 60 years, it is around 10%. So age is the most important factor determines the mortality. Okay, any person with other comorbid conditions, like what are the risk factors for developing this COVID-19 and increased mortality? So first and foremost important thing is age. Elderly the person, the criticality will be more mortality. So the second most important risk factor is presence of a previously existing cardiovascular disease or any heart disease. So the third important thing is a person with diabetes mellitus. Next thing is person with hypertension. So next important thing is person with any previously existing respiratory diseases. So others are cancers. So these are the high risk patients. They are having increased risk of developing this COVID-19 disease. So we understood what are the symptoms, how it is going to be spread, then what is the mortality. So what is the treatment? So everybody, like why everybody is afraid of this disease? Why there is a panic throughout the world because there are so many other deadly diseases, but why only coronavirus people are afraid of it? Because at this moment there is no definitive cure for this disease. There is no drug which can cure this disease. The only treatment is supportive treatment. Suppose the patient have mild symptoms, you treat his fever, hydration, that's all we can do. And most of the times 80% of the patient gets recover on their own. So remaining 15 to 20% of the patients, they require more aggressive supportive treatment. If they develop any breathing difficulty, respiratory failure, they're not maintaining the oxygen saturation in their blood, they require assisted ventilation and then other supportive medication. There are so many drugs they have been using throughout the world, but there is no proved efficacy of any of these drugs to cure this disease. So that is the most important thing we should be knowing. So that's why everybody says prevention is better than cure, because we don't have any drug which can cure this disease at this moment. So this is all about my first part, where I have told you about in brief about this COVID-19 which you should be knowing. So coming to the second part, that is more important, because being a cardiologist I should be addressing this part rather than addressing the first part. So what is the effect of this COVID-19 with respect to cardiovascular diseases? So here again, there are two aspects I want to speak to you. Okay. So one thing, the first important thing is in this critical time. So how you manage your existing cardiac disease. This is the first part. So the second part is how you can going to prevent by from this getting affected by this disease. So these are the two important things. So coming to the first one. So first thing is, you know that you are having a cardiac disease, some heart disease. Like heart disease, everybody would have known, but what is their heart disease? Either they have a previous heart attack and they've undergone a coronary angioplasty, or they've undergone a bypass surgery, or they have heart failure, or some valvular heart disease, or any other cardiac disease for that matter. So how to keep their heart healthy in this critical time? Because you are almost everybody in this country are under lockdown. You don't have any access to transportation, so limited medical facilities, your regular and your heart health in this lockdown period. So this is very important. So first and foremost thing is the medications. Your doctor had advised you medications for your cardiac condition. So most important rule for you is to continue your medications do not stop your medications. This is the most important thing you should keep in mind in this critical period, because for most of the heart disease, the medications will be there lifelong. Unless until it is told not stop medications. Keep adequate medications at your home, buy them before they are completely over. So continue to take your medications, because once you stop your medications, the well controlled cardiac condition will get aggravated and you will end up in the hospital, or you may have to face some catastrophe because of it. So most important instruction to all you people is, as I mentioned, you people with cardiovascular disease are at higher risk of developing this COVID-19, because these patients are with comorbid conditions like diabetes, hypertension. Usually these patients are elderly. So that's why all these patients with cardiovascular disease, those who have associated diabetes and hypertension, one more most important thing, the thing you have to take care of is your blood sugars and your blood pressure. Okay. So patient with blood sugar or diabetes mellitus, never forget your medications, continue taking your medications, and you self monitor your blood sugar level, so that, as I mentioned, you people with cardiovascular disease are at higher risk of developing this COVID-19, because these patients are with comorbid conditions like diabetes, hypertension. Usually these patients are elderly. So that's why all these patients with cardiovascular disease, those who have associated diabetes and hypertension, one more most important thing, the thing you have to take care of is your blood sugars and your blood pressure. Okay. So patient with blood sugar or diabetes mellitus, never forget your medications, continue taking your medications, and you self monitor your blood sugar level, so that, as I mentioned, you people with cardiovascular disease are at higher risk of developing this COVID-19, because these patients are with comorbid conditions like diabetes, hypertension. Usually these patients are elderly. So that's why all these patients with cardiovascular disease, those who have associated diabetes and hypertension, one more most important thing, the thing you have to take care of is your blood sugars and your blood pressure. Okay. So patient with blood sugar or diabetes mellitus, never forget your medications, continue taking your medications, and you self monitor your blood sugar level, so that your blood sugar levels are optimum and they are not in a higher levels. So continue your medications, monitor your blood sugar at home only, and make sure that you continue your diet and exercise and all those things. The same applies to blood pressure also. So continue medications which are given for your blood pressure, and you have home monitoring of blood pressure so that your blood pressure is under control. One more thing I want you to be clear, that there is some talk about some antihypertensives, the drugs which we will give for hypertension, are not good in this case of coronavirus, because they are going to affect the patient. So make sure that there is, till now, all the antihypertensive drugs are safe and they are not going to cause severe coronavirus disease. There are some group of antihypertensives called ACE inhibitors or ARBs. People are talking about that these are going to affect people. But all the authorities, all the guidelines have made it clear that these drugs are safe, and you please do continue. There is no need of changing any antihypertensives. Okay, take care of your blood sugar and take care of your blood pressure, so that your cardiovascular disease will be under control. Medications, monitor your blood sugar at home only, and make sure that you continue your diet and exercise and all those things. The same applies to blood pressure also. So continue medications which are given for your blood pressure, and you have home monitoring of blood pressure so that your blood pressure is under control. One more thing I want you to be clear, that there is some talk about some antihypertensives, the drugs which we will give for hypertension, are not good in this case of coronavirus, because they are going to affect the patient. So make sure that there is, till now, all the antihypertensive drugs are safe and they are not going to cause severe coronavirus disease. There are some group of antihypertensives called ACE inhibitors or ARBs. People are talking about that these are going to affect people. But all the authorities, all the guidelines have made it clear that these drugs are safe, and you please do continue. There is no need of changing any antihypertensives. Okay, take care of your blood sugar and take care of your blood pressure, so that your cardiovascular disease will be under control. Medications, monitor your blood sugar at home only, and make sure that you continue your diet and exercise and all those things. The same applies to blood pressure also. So continue medications which are given for your blood pressure, and you have home monitoring of blood pressure so that your blood pressure is under control. One more thing I want you to be clear that there is some talk about some antihypertensives, the drugs which we will give for hypertension are not good in this case of coronavirus because they are going to affect the patient. So make sure that there is till now all the antihypertensive drugs are safe and they are not going to cause severe coronavirus disease. There are some group of antihypertensives called ACE inhibitors or ARBs. People are talking about that these are going to affect people. But all the authorities, all the guidelines are made it clear that these drugs are safe and you please do continue. There is no need of changing any antihypertensives. Okay, take care of your blood sugar and take care of your blood pressure so that your cardiovascular disease will be under control. So this is the first and foremost important thing. So with the medication, there are some things like everybody would have heard about debating in the TVs, in the social media, everywhere. There's something called hydroxychloroquine or chloroquine. This is anti-malaria drugs. Whether everybody should take or what. There is any side effect or what. This is one debatable thing everybody is. It has been clearly told by the government and the medical authorities all over India that these two drugs should be taken with advice from your doctors, and these are presently recommended for healthcare workers and those people who are working with patients who is suffering from COVID-19 disease. And this is not for the general public. I advise you not to self-medicate with this hydroxychloroquine. Why? Because there are minimum chances that these patients, any heart patients, underlying heart patient taking these medication can have some cardiac problem, arrhythmias can occur, and they can lose their life. So, message is don't take on yourself hydroxychloroquine. So, it is only prescribed for those who are handling this medication, this patients with COVID-19 for healthcare professionals, not for general public. This is about the medication. So coming to next important thing is diet. So for any heart disease patient, most important we will be advising in our OPDs regarding the diet. So you everybody knows like what has to be eaten, what should not be eaten. But this lockdown is there, everybody are staying at home, so cooking delicious food, delicious dishes. So starting binge eating and feast. So remember, this lockdown is not for the feast. Continue your diet practices which were there before this lockdown, during the lockdown also. So don't indulge in binge eating and irregular erratic dieting habits. So what are the things which should be uh, maintained in your diet? So the rules for the diet is most important thing is reduce carbohydrates, reduce sugars, reduce oils, and increase intake of fresh or any green leafy vegetables, increased vegetables, increase fruits. Fruits may be dry fruits or any other fruits. Other thing is increase fiber rich food, increase proteins. Coming to non-vegetarian food, avoid mutton. Okay, so you can take uh, what is that? Fish in an abundance and egg white you can take. So fish and all those things, whenever you're preparing, ideally avoid using more oil. So overall thing is avoid oil, avoid carbohydrates, increase proteins. Most important thing is decrease salt intake. So generalized salt intake should be reduced usually to less than 5 grams, and sometimes we advise them to have less than 2 grams. So fruits and vegetables should be more than 400 grams per day. So these are the dietary things which you should follow during this kind of period. So next important thing, what is the next important thing? Exercise. So this is one more important thing. Patients will be asking us and we will be telling the patients regarding exercise. So what are the things we should be doing in exercise? Everybody will say, give an excuse. We are in lockdown, we can't go to park, we can't go outside, we can't go to gym. So where to do exercise? So stop exercising, sleep more. No, that is not going to work for you. So what to do for this exercise? So at your home with your family support, you can make your family also do exercise with you. Practice some kind of physical activity, at least 30 to 40 minutes per day. It may be mild to moderate. You can do some mild exercises. You can go to your terrace, walk along with your family members. You can see many TV channels or internet. You can practice yoga, meditation. So there are so many things which you can do at home. So better to continue exercising, physical exercise at your home, because this will give you de-stressing your mind, and it will have good effect on your heart health. So continue to do exercise, don't stop exercises. So next important thing is sleep. So everybody is at home, so you tend to sleep more or you tend to sleep less, looking at the TV and all those things. So what is the adequate amount of sleep you should be having? So 6 to 9 hours of sleep is adequate and it is healthy. So anybody having more sleep, more than 9 hours, or somebody having less than 6 hours, it is not good for your heart health. So advice is to have adequate sleep of around 6 to 9 hours. Okay, so what to do? I am not getting sleep, and all those things complaint will be there. So there are so many things which will be disturbing your sleep. Most important thing is your screen time. So increasing screen time, you are tired, so there's problem. Before going to bed, you'll be looking at your mobile. Increase sleep, you're looking at your computers, looking at your TV. Avoid all these things during bedtime. Practice some meditation, yoga, physical activity, good healthy diet. These things are going to improve your sleep. Okay, so sleep first, good effect on your cardiac health. So next important thing which should have been told before, I don't know. So don't have this, because you are free at home, you have mental stress or and feeling so many things are going in there. So continue to smoke, continue to have alcohol. These things should be avoided, because most important thing for any cardiac patient is to avoid smoking or stop smoking, not indulge in smoking, and moderate or less amount of alcohol. These things should be kept in mind. So next most important thing, because if you wake up in the morning, see the newspaper, before that only you would have seen your mobiles, WhatsApp, and next switch on the TV. Everywhere there is corona, corona, corona. So what is this corona? So mind, if you wake up in the morning, there is something related to COVID-19. So avoid excessive news regarding COVID, because this will reduce your stress, panic, and all those things. Only rely on the reliable sources of information, either from your government or excessive information in the media, excessive information in the internet. So don't take everything at a time and don't get stressed out. Okay, because this is going to aggravate your cardiac diseases. So have a reliable source of information getting from your government and follow those things. Okay, so this is the most important. Other most important thing, these are the things routinely you have to do. If you develop any symptoms related to your cardiac disease, like chest pain, breathing difficulty, any palpitation, giddiness, fall, all those things, fresh symptoms, don't stay at home. Contact your medical fraternity, like whoever the doctor who are treating you. If you can't reach him, any hospital near to you, go to the emergency, get it evaluated and treated. Don't stay at home if you develop any of these symptoms. Severe chest pain, severe breathlessness, any palpitation, any giddiness, fall. These are the most important cardiac symptoms. If you develop these symptoms, don't stay at home, go to a nearby hospital and get it evaluated, because these are the hard signs that your health is not good. In the same way, if you develop these symptoms which I told you regarding the COVID-19, like fever, cough, breathlessness, do seek your medical attention, because staying at home, you are not going to gain anything. You will be worsening your health, and at the same time, the health of the other family members is also getting affected. So seek the medical attention if you develop any of the symptoms which I told you. So these are the important things which you should be doing at your home when you are in lockdown to maintain your cardiac health. Okay, continue your regular medications, do exercise, healthy diet, stop smoking and alcohol. Okay, adequate amount of sleep, don't get stressed, do meditation, speak to your family, speak to your friends, avoid screen time, avoid unnecessary news on the TV. So stay home, stay safe, don't go out unnecessarily, or if there is, like, if you have to go, there is no other way, then only you have to venture out. Otherwise, avoid going out. Second important thing is social distancing. Keep 1 to 2 meters distance from the other person. Always use handmade mask or any other surgical mask. Suppose if you have sneezing, cough, and all those things, cough with a kerchief, hand sanitizer, or using soap and water at least for 20 seconds. frequent hand washing is very important, and maintaining personal hygiene is also very important. Avoiding public contact, staying at home, these are the important things. Avoid handshakes, avoid hugs. So these are the important things which you have to do to prevent yourself from getting affected by this coronavirus. What all about COVID-19 and the cardiovascular disease. So hope I have spoken regarding in brief about the COVID-19 disease and educating you regarding how to maintain your heart healthy and how to protect yourself from getting infected by COVID-19. So the final message from me is stay home, stay safe, safeguard yourself and save others. Thank you.